Ada Wong, mysterious, elusive, sexy, super spy. Can I say sexy for being like a pixelated block? Anyway, she's one of my favourite characters in the franchise, and after her death in Resident Evil 2, I was devastated. However, she reappears at the end of the game, and then comes back for Resident Evil 4. In fact, she actually saves Resident Evil 4 in the original separate ways, but that's a story for another time. Welcome back to the world of survival horror. Ada Wong, the mysterious spy who seems to be one step ahead, even when it looks like it's the end for her. At the climax of Resident Evil 2, both in the original 1998 game and the 2019 remake, Ada seems to meet her fate. But how exactly does she survive? Well, the answer lies in subtle details across the game, and a little bit of Resident Evil mystery, and as I like to call it, headcanon. Okay, so we're going to start with the original versions of Resident Evil 2 because she has two ways in which she can die. Known as the zapping system, it allows you to experience the story from two perspectives, both Leon and Claire, with each character's actions affecting the other's storyline in subtle ways. When it comes to Ada's supposed death, the zapping system creates two slightly different outcomes based on whether you're playing Leon A, Claire B, or Claire A and Leon B. In Leon A scenario, Ada's fate seems fairly straightforward. She assists Leon throughout the game, eventually confessing her love for him before dying and then being shot by a net and falling off the platform. After she's injured, she has her emotional moment with Leon. She falls and disappears. Leon is left devastated, believing she's dead, and that's the last we see of Ada for this scenario.
I've been waiting for you, Leon.
What are you doing?
You know what this is about, so just hand over the G virus.
I don't believe this. Annette was right. About everything.
That's why I told you to leave without me, but you wouldn't listen. Now hand it over. Don't make me shoot you.
You can't do that. Ada! Ada! I've got you. Don't give up.
G virus. Leon. It's over. Just let me go.
Shut up. You're gonna make it.
It's too late, Leon. We both know it.
No! I promised you that we would escape. You just have to help me out here.
I really wanted to escape with you, Leon. Escape from everything. Goodbye.
Ada!
When you switch to Claire B scenario, the events don't reference Ada or her death. It's just assumed Claire's actions are happening in parallel to Leon's. However, a mysterious person shows up at the crucial moment.
Here. Use this. Who are you?
Now this is where things get more interesting. If you start with Claire in scenario A and then play Leon B scenario, you get a different perspective on Ada's fate. Instead of falling to her death, she's slammed into the self-destruction console. In the B scenario, because the roles have been reversed, it's now Leon who is fighting the tyrant, and after Ada's supposed death, she mysteriously reappears during the final battle. As Leon is about to be overpowered, Ada, who we thought was dead, throws Leon the rocket launcher, which he uses to finish off the tyrant once and for all. Leon will recognise her voice.
Run!
Ada! Ada!
Leon, please, escape.
No. We're a team. I can't just leave you behind.
I'm just a woman who fell in love with you. Nothing more.
Ada. No. Ada!
Use this!
Ada, is that you? Ada!
It's a clever twist that not only shows that Ada survived her injury, but also the formula that worked in the original Resident Evil by having someone provide you with the means to destroy the tyrant for the final battle.
Jill, use it! Kill it, whatever it is!
You see, the zapping system allows the game to create these alternate outcomes depending on the play order. In this version, Ada's survival is canonically confirmed thanks to her role with the final moments of Leon B's scenario tying up her story arc. And it's widely accepted that Claire A. Leon B is the canon route throughout that game. Ada doesn't make a reappearance until Resident Evil 4, where she has this nifty little hookshot. In Resident Evil 2 Remake, the zapping system from the original game is mostly removed, which changes how Ada's fate is presented. Unlike the 98 version, where the zapping system creates two possible outcomes for Ada's death, depending on the order you play the scenarios, the remake simplifies things by streamlining the story across both Leon and Claire's campaigns.
Is anybody here?
Anybody here?
There are still two campaigns, Leon A, Claire B, Leon B, Claire A, but they don't really impact each other in the same way that the originals did. Another reason why I think that the original game is better. The events that occur in one campaign don't carry over and change what happens in the other. This means that Ada's fate is the same regardless if you're playing Leon A or Leon B. In Leon's story, Ada's confrontation with Annette leads her to being shot and then she falls from the platform, much like the original.
And you shoot me. But I don't think you can.
No one gets that sample now.
Hold on. I think I can...
Forget it.
Shut up, I've got you.
It's not worth it.
Don't do this.
Take care of yourself, Leon.
No!
However, Leon is not aware of her survival, and the game leaves it more ambiguous. This death is confirmed as the official remake's timeline version of events, and it's shown again in the opening of Resident Evil 4 Remake. So how did Ada survive Raccoon City? In all events that we know that she survived, but how did she actually get out of Raccoon City? We know that the entire city was destroyed and she didn't leave with Leon. Going back to that original game, this part of the story is actually tied up in the Umbrella Chronicles. The majority of the game is a retelling of a previous event, such as the Manson incident or the Jill's escape from Raccoon City. Umbrella Chronicles is designed as a first-person shooter, and it's kind of a watered-down version of these games, and so it has a partner system that means that characters who weren't there in the original game are now present through the entire journey. So for example, you've got Jill and Chris that will go through the mansion together, and one of them doesn't get put in a cell. Therefore, the game wasn't really considered canon. However, it did have these kind of in-between missions that, or story levels, that had snippets of other characters that again filled in the gaps of the actual main games. We see what happened to Rebecca once she made it back into the mansion from the training facility, or how Wesker got from the training facility to Raccoon City, but more importantly, it also shows how Ada escaped the city. Remember the zapping system and how Claire A. Leon B is considered the canon route? Well, Death's Door, the title of Ada's chapter in Umbrella Chronicles, picks up from that exact playthrough. Only this time we see events from Ada's perspective as she escapes the city. Remember, Ada is a spy. This job's been going on for longer than the events of Resident Evil 2. She's mentioned in Resident Evil as being the girlfriend of an Umbrella researcher.
Ada Wong. Ada Wong. I've heard that name before. Now I remember. One of the men from Chicago who came to assist the T-virus research used his girlfriend's name as his password. Ada and John, I believe.
She uses cover when she goes into the city to infiltrate Umbrella Labs.
I'm trying to find my boyfriend. His name's John. He was working for a branch office of Umbrella based in Chicago, but he suddenly disappeared 6 months ago. I heard a rumor that he's here in the city.
I don't know anything, and even if I did, why would I want to tell you?
And her mission was to steal a sample of the G virus. Ultimately, it's this that saves her. May I also add, she only gets this in the Claire A. Leon B scenario. The entire time she was working with Wesker, and she was due to meet him at the Apple Inn. Wesker, being the total badass that he is, was prepared to let her die, but on seeing that she had the virus in her possession, gives her the hookshot. It's the very one that we see her using in Resident Evil 4. Wesker advised her that a helicopter is leaving the city with an Umbrella official on it, and that is her ticket out. This ties up some of the loose ends from the disappearance in Resident Evil 2 and firmly establishes that she's never truly needed saving. She was always in control, and even in the direst situations. For Resident Evil Remake, there isn't that extra content. Ada doesn't really have a love scene like the original, but you can tell that she has a plan, and because the Umbrella Chronicles follows Leon in the B scenario, that can't be transferred over either, and it can't be included in the remake timeline because it just doesn't make sense. Therefore, it has to be assumed that she already has this hookshot. When Ada fell, it wasn't for some cry for help or for Leon to swoop in and save her. It was her exit strategy. By letting herself fall, she freed herself from having to keep manipulating Leon. The G-virus is down there somewhere too. But it could also be symbolic. The woman behind the red dress died in that fall, and what survived was the true Ada Wong, a cunning, ruthless spy that we've come to know. She's now operating from the shadows, playing a much bigger game, and she goes from being a one-time spy to the best in her field. I do have a question for you though. Have you ever wondered what it's like getting too old, and maybe too old to enjoy Resident Evil? Well, I was, and you can see why in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you survivors next time.